Ora si registrerà la conferenza.
Okay, since we have a few people that never joined the meeting before, in particular Mr. Silni, I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly your name,
Very
but I guess.
correct.
Okay, thanks. I will just do a second introduction just to contextualize the meeting, and then we move to the specific agenda of the day. So this is the Eumans weekly meeting. Eumans is a pan-European movement which activates participatory democracy instruments for goals related to the rule of law, sustainability, and quality of life and democracy. And in particular, our organization is leading the European Citizen Initiative Stop Global Warming.eu, which is the main reason you, Mr. Cisne, are here tonight. I think it's important to keep this context so that if people join, they know who we are and what we do. So this weekly meeting in the last weeks had been particularly focused on the Stop Global Warming.eu campaign, which is the European Citizen Initiative for carbon pricing in the EU. Usually every Thursday we try to share with each other updates on the big picture of the discussion at a European Union level on climate change and the new regulation that has been on discussion. And also we use this opportunity to check up with different activists involved in the campaign in different EU countries on where we are with activities. So it's a mix of political and practical operational discussion. For example, tonight we have also Dino Serafini, who is based in Luxembourg, that is starting to develop the strategy there. Mr. Silni was introduced to us by Jürgen Klaute, and he's a well-known environmental civic person in Czech Republic. This is the only information that I got. But the idea is to discuss tonight together about you, but also how the campaign can bring, how we can try to work in Czech Republic to extend the network on the campaign. Maybe I will ask Marco Cappato, who is the president and founder of Eumans and former MEP, to give us a bit of a intro so that we can contextualize the meeting in the bigger picture, and then we go maybe to Czech Republic and then Luxembourg and then any other business.
Thank you very much, Virginia, and good afternoon to all of you. I think that, well, there are even other topics very important about which things are happening. In particular, I would like to underscore our initiative in order to ask to the European institution to hold the famous conference on the future of Europe, which is a participation tool that President von der Leyen committed to convene at the beginning of her term, but that it was suspended because of the COVID-19 crisis. And our idea is that participation should not be suspended, and there are ways and forms of online participation that could allow this kind of conference to happen. So we have joined a broad coalition on this point, Citizens Take Over Europe, and we are attending to meetings on that goal, and so this is a very important thing. The other very important thing that I want to mention is about rule of law, because a few days ago, or 10 days ago more or less, the European Commission issued a report on the situation of the rule of law in Europe. And at the same time, the European Parliament is keeping blocked the Next Generation EU, the funds for the for the coronavirus crisis, because of disagreement on the conditionality of EU funds for the rule of law. So the possibility that the European Parliament would like to apply to suspend some of those funds in case of systematic and constant breach of the rule of law. This is another point of utmost attention for humans, and we are trying to figure out possible initiatives on that point. About the StopGlobalWarming.eu campaign, we are still quite stuck with signatures of citizens, around 45,000 signatures if you consider also the signature collected offline. Of course, now to collect signature offline is barely impossible. So, but I think that the campaign is growing momentum as standing level of adhesion. In particular, the signature from the former president of the United Nations General Assembly from Denmark, a former finance minister. This is opening up, I think, a good opportunity to relaunch. We had already a chat with the former High Commissioner, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Navi Pillay. She's a woman from South Africa, and she said that if only she were European, she would be happy to sign, and this is helping us to involve not only EU institutions but also global personality and partners on the campaign. So in the coming hours there would be the Council on climate change, the European Council on Climate Change. I think we have to insist on both levels, the signature, the collector of signature from citizens, but at the same time to reinforce the group of personalities from the political environment and from the scientific environment to give even more clout to our proposal. We just discussed this together with Virginia, with some members of the European Parliament, about the possibility of accompanying the European Citizen Initiative on one side with the parliamentary initiative, asking exactly for the same things. So for carbon pricing, as the ECI is asking for, as a European Parliament initiative. So we, in the coming days, we will check with other members of the European Parliament about this possibility, still to reinforce the proposal. Thank you.
Maybe I would ask Mr. Sili if he wants to tell us what got your attention from what Jürgen Klaute mentioned to you, and also maybe a bit about the situation and the debate around climate policy in Czech Republic. I know that the mayor of Prague is one of the 4 mayors, together with Budapest, Warsaw, and Bratislava, who also made a joint declaration at the beginning of the summer for a stronger EU commitment, and it sounded like a counter argument with the national government somehow. So maybe if you want to help us to understand the context and what you think about the initiative, it would be great to discuss what can we try and activate.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, my background is civil society activism. I'm active in some NGOs and networks and campaigns, and yeah, so I have some contacts in different fields in civil society, partly as well in politics, but not so high. But you are right, Mayor of Prague is from the Pirate Party. The Pirate Party is at the moment the second strongest party in Czech Republic. It's really some funny constituency here, and the Pirates are open for such questions. I can imagine one or two persons I know in the European Parliament could be as well addressed if you work there. Maybe as well that there is one communist deputy, Kateřina Konečná, in the left group in Parliament. I could as well ask for support this. The Czech discussion on environmental issues is not very developed. It's changing in last years, 1 years. It's coming really to somehow in the mainstream debate, but rather on such topics as soil and water, because of problems with not enough rain in last years and problems for agriculture. Another big debate at the moment here is about coal, because Czech Republic is one of the countries using much of coal for heating or for producing electricity, and this is this bad quality brown coal from northern Bohemia, and their activities happened to start a coal commission in the spring of this year. He was pushing on government to stop using coal sooner as they promised yet. So this is one of focus where the campaigning capacity is now working on, and the capacity is not big. I tried when I spoke with Jürgen Klute, and he said me about your initiative. I didn't know it before, so I tried to spread the information via the channels of Czech Climate Coalition. There was one or two people who somehow reacted, but I think the capacities are very weak of the people. They do a lot of work and have not enough funding for cover all the activities they see should be worth to support. And it's not only in this field. I am active as well in the campaigning for universal basic income, which is as well somehow due to the COVID crisis, it became some topic in newspapers and so on. But even there, it started only, it's now in September, but still the signatures are very few yet. So I think you cannot expect for this initiative many signatures or bigger support to push up the situation. But maybe if you are trying to work together with some initiative of in Parliament, European Parliament, we could find some people who can be involved. And we have till now practically no debate about ecological taxing in Czech Republic. So it's no party, maybe the Greens, but the Greens are not in Parliament, they are very weak. So it's difficult to start such debate with campaign like this, where the people have not the mindset for this.
Maybe if I can start to put some elements on the table. I think from the organization perspective, what is most challenging for the campaign, step back. The premise is that European citizens are basically not aware of the fact that they can sign European Citizen Initiative. So the first element is this. And part of the activities of Eumans are also around increasing the awareness of the instrument among the European citizens in general. So I think something that maybe you can help us with is to show this organization in Czech Republic that the action is easier than what it seems. So even just sharing with their newsletters and social media channels in a very specific way the fact that the initiative exists and the fact that the citizens can sign can already start to trigger a process. And for that, we have some very well-crafted materials, and it's just about having the will to include in the editorial planning or informative planning the information. That's already a simple and easy step to be kind of asked to organizations.
That can be better.
Alternatively, what we can do if you want is to try to maybe create a meeting or something where you help us to gather these people and we can have a sort of a moment of confrontation, maybe into the details of the campaign and how this spreading of information can work. That's another angle, just to have us focus on Czech Republic. And I think the coal dependency and the proposal of carbon pricing can be interesting as a political confrontation somehow. The other thing that we are trying to do is at a local level with mayors and municipalities to get the support of mayors to the campaign and local councils. And the support ideally is not only a endorsement, which is helpful, but also commit the municipality to publish on the website the possibility to collect the signatures. So for example, 2 days ago, we got the support from the municipality of Dortmund in Germany. And what is interesting is that also Dortmund belongs to a region where there is a high coal dependency. So the support, the mayor is a SD, Social Democrat. And for example, this kind of contradiction can play nicely in the media space, etc. So maybe the other angle that we can try to work together is if you can help us to identify maybe mayors that are particularly with a green agenda, progressive agenda, or something, and try to get their support for the initiative. This is also something we try to achieve, and potentially this network. I mean, this network of cities and mayors as also a bottom-up sort of pressure toward the decision makers. So the ideal scheme is mayors, European Parliament, and organization asking for the same thing toward the Commission. I mean, I don't know if the others want to elaborate on that, but more or less this is the scheme that we are trying to use for the campaign.
Yeah, I can try to do some attempts in this direction, but I think at the moment the municipal level is very difficult because we have a really catastrophic growth of corona
COVID
cases. Yes, we have 15,000 new cases a day, so they are really panicking on everywhere. So I think it's not the moment to bring new topics on this level where people have to decide about measures for prevention. We have lockdown since today, going only for work or to doctor. Otherwise, we have to. Yeah, you can do some things. I think in this level of NGOs and so, I'm happy to spread the information and ask. I already did ask them, and this climate coalition already spread the basic information with the link to the web page. I did it, but I think it's you need it to put with more information, otherwise it gets lost. So I can do it in more proper manner to inform.
And sorry, my last question is about the mayor of Prague. You mentioned he's a member of the Pirate Party, which makes things a bit easier because it's usually more informal than other parties. Do you have any direct line of communication with him, or maybe we can prepare a letter or something and you can help us to get it in his hands?
If you prepare a letter, I can pass it to the chairman of the party, and I know him personally. I don't know the mayor, but I think if he has capacity to deal with it, he can support it somehow.
Okay.
If you have kind of letter asking for endorsement, I will be happy to use it.
Okay. Any other consideration? I mean, we can keep this open. I don't know. I mean, I hope Iri, you can stay with us for the meeting. Maybe you can listen to the rest of the. So I don't know if maybe Andrea want to. I see your mic open, so maybe you.
Just to say that on coal there's much to do. Also, starting from some recent contradiction of the European Commission raised during the COP24, the event in Katowice in Poland. There was an interesting article at the time, because during the event there was, of course, the interest of reducing the emission and fighting climate change, but then 2 weeks before the event in Katowice, in the same city, there was another event with the participation of the European Commission, the United Nations, the Minister of Poland, and the coal lobby, starting a new alliance, which is Clean Coal for against climate change, funded by the Commission itself. And this is crazy. And I think that if we want to give visibility, we could also start from this point. There are many articles also by Euractiv, you can find, and Politico as well, reporting the content of the meeting. And during these meetings, there was quite an important protest in front of the building, but the alliance is still in place. So there is still a strong impact of the coal lobby to influence the ETS, the emission trading system, and the issue is there is a strong financing activity of the European Commission, even after Ursula von der Leyen decided to present the Green Deal. And this is something we could work together to disseminate. That means we stop global warming, we present a solution to change the ETS, because we think it is not sufficient, because it exposes the European Commission to a strong lobbying activity. Instead of a carbon tax, which is a fixed parameters which cannot be changed. And this is one point. The second point is that you are one of the countries where coal is still one of the major resources. The brown coal is even more polluting than the hard coal, and this is crazy. Also in terms of water consumption, for example, because if I remember, it takes about 2 kilograms of water for 1 kilogram of coal extraction in lignin production. So we can merge the efforts in this way. We can focus our communication on coal, for as we think it is quite an important aspect, and I think this could be an interesting cooperation, because it is an example of the lack of efficiency in the European policy concerning climate change.
Yeah, you are right, but there are some changes. I've read newly that even in Poland, they did some decision to finish sooner with coal. And they made some deal with the trade unions of miners, so it's moving. I have to see if I can find somebody who is involved in this. I'm myself not directly in these campaigns. I know the people, but my focus is more on solidar economy and such activities, not green stuff. But I will try to find somebody who can communicate more as an expert in this field, who knows better as well the situation here.
Lorenzo Mineo.
Well, I have more a question than a speech. I was wondering, since we were mentioning all these institutional signatures and supports, which could be the best way to exploit this kind of support, because we have still 4 months to the end of the ECI. We already had several webinar and web event on the initiative. Shall we plan again something like this, maybe more institutional, with the United Nations personalities, maybe the mayors, something to show that there is a huge institutional support on the ECI? Or maybe we think that, okay, we already did this kind of experiments and we should think about something else. First, this question to discuss and brainstorm with you. And then for Andrea Salimbeni, I know he's working on a newsletter in Italian called Stop Global Warming, and potentially on the birth of a think tank that could be named Stop Global Warming, in a way to show that there could be life for this initiative, of this objective of carbon pricing, even after the ECI. Since we are working also on the newsletter in English for the international public, I'm wondering if these two aspects should be somehow connected, if we should connect the work of Andrea to what others are doing more at the international scale for stop.
Yeah, thanks Lorenzo, because it's a good occasion to speak about and talk about the newsletter, or the think tank, as we started naming it. The idea is to present our Stop Global Warming proposal as the head of another set of initiatives, specific initiatives, which involves not only the CO2 pricing, but the solutions to solve some of the most critical issues concerning the urban waste, the water pollution, the importation of critical raw materials, which is also another important point for the coal sector. Soon, I have just had a meeting yesterday with about 8 guys in Florence that will be able and available to participate to this initiative. The idea is the following: we will send our think tank newsletter, which will have Stop Global Warming as the main campaigns. That it is the main campaign we have now, but not only. We will also present documents, draft documents for policy proposals, initiatives, proposals to all our contacts who declared an interest in what we are doing, or declare a common interest in climate change. in any case. And we will, what we would like to have is to collect feedbacks and contributions to our proposal, to our policy proposal, to be presented at national level or at regional level. For example, in a region where a coal-firing plant is in place, there is the opportunity to revamp the plant and convert to renewable feedstock using, for example, biological residual that can be available in your country. And this is something that in Italy has been done for many years. Not only to receiving feedback, but also to have a participation. So the idea is we present you some draft proposals, real texts to be used and commented and integrated with your input. And then after that, we could define a final version of this document. The action starts. The action means present the documents to institutions or to members of parliaments, or in any case policymakers that we can have as a contact in different countries, that our cooperators or our partners can have as a contact in their own region, in their own country, in your own municipality.
So I think for the moment, the Stop Global Warming per se newsletter, the one about the campaign, probably runs in parallel. Maybe Andrea, you can have a look at how it's coming up so far. It's very much focused on the campaign, but it seems your work so far is very Italian, is based on the Italian network, right?
Yeah, they most as we discussed briefly. Of course, most of our contacts are in Italy because we started developing these proposals starting from the Italian context. But for example, for the coal-firing plant, the concept is the same in every region, and the issue is always the same. It's like matter of action, and the request for region to the companies to convert the plants. For example, I did a proposal in the past for a company named Colterm in Romania. They have a brown coal firing plant of 300,000 tons per year. So the proposal was to change it with to change the feedstock without changing so much the plant, at least reducing some of the most pollutants element coming out from the chimneys. So some proposals are strictly related to the national context. Some others, from, for example, the critical raw materials, stop global warming, and also I can say the water pollution, which is an issue in all countries, and also because it comes out from a European directive and regulation. They are European. They can be applied at European level in all member states. Yeah. It's a matter of translating in English.
Cool. Yep.
I think in this field, it would be useful to have contact with the Czech part of what the Germans name Ende Gelände. It is the protest movement. They are going to the brown coal areas to somehow stop the work there, make some action, and they do a lot of education work about this. So I think for this networking, this would be the group I can make the connection.
That would be great. That would be great. Also because, yeah, as soon as we can put in place an action, then we can replicate in other regions and use it as a model to be the same in other places. A protest can be organized if policymakers do not consider a proposal, and the same if they do. We can use them and publish the fact that some someone decided to support and to support the transition to the green economy.
Before moving to Dino for Luxembourg, I would like just to share my take on Lorenzo's question on what to do next with the supporters. In my opinion, I don't know if the others and Marco what they think, but I think what can be a game changer is if we assess correctly the European Parliament legislative initiative situation. I think that can really kind of boost the campaign from a political level, also to enter into the media attention more strongly. So I think before making decision on how to display the support and kind of create something else, which of course is going to be digital, I think having the assessment of the European Parliament situation is essential. I don't know, Marco and the others, what you think, but I think one thing should go with the other at this stage as much as possible.
No, yes, I totally agree with that, and I still think that some surprise is possible from the side of collecting signature from citizens and public opinion, because if some groups around Europe would recognize the timely need of this proposal, I think that the 1 million signature goal would not be so far or unreachable. But anyway, even if even if that goal would not be reached, we still need to make the political commitment on the objective grow, and we should do it through the European Parliament initiative and also through prominent personalities supporting the proposal. So both things are crucial, and I think is the right time to do it, because the European Union is discussing the legislation to to put in consequences the Green Deal announcement. So this is really the right time to act, I think.
Hopefully the assessment from the European Parliament side, I mean, it's about the stuff of the Eleonora Evi mainly, to check out with the internal unity of the European Parliament on this type of instrument and see what can be done. And so I don't think it's gonna take ages to activate that. Okay, 6:42. Dino, enlighten us on Luxembourg, the rich and powerful country that can shape the future of the campaign.
I'm actually in need of some more lightning myself, so possibly this is not something natural for Luxembourg at this time of the year, but still. Thank you, Virginia, and everyone also for the very interesting insights. So basically, as I mentioned in the last meeting, I'm quite new to Luxembourg, so I'm still orienting myself in the various actors and activists and better contact points in this small but powerful country. What I did since our last meeting last week is to contact the all organizations that are more active in this moment in Luxembourg. This would count to 13 organizations, mainly local branches of major organizations. So I started to reach out to them as soon as possible. Perhaps you all have better contacts than myself with them. I'm thinking of the Extinction Rebellion movement here in Luxembourg, the Green Party, Youth for Climate in Luxembourg, Greenpeace Luxembourg. So all the most obvious one to be in contact with. The Green Party is quite fragmented, meaning that they have a very peculiar infiltration in all municipalities, and so they are quite structured. And I try to reach out to all the groups of the major municipalities so far. I have to say that for the moment, the feedbacks are quite limited in number, but enthusiastic. So I received a feedback from Extinction Rebellion and Youth for Climate. They will both discuss in their next meeting the possibility of a partnership, somehow a social media partnership, basically broadcasting and inviting people to sign the ECI. One of the influential persons that would be most interesting to get in touch with is the Ministry of Energy, of the energy policy, Monsieur Claude Tourme, who actually is the first signatory of a proposal, of the proposal for carbon taxation in Luxembourg. I have to say that for Luxembourg pocket is quite of a generous, generous, it's not so demanding, because they are asking 20 euro per ton in 2021, going up to 30 in 2023, so 25 euros per ton and 30 per ton in 2023. But still, he is very active, is very influential. He has like fan clubs around the country, and I have a common contact with him. We share a contact, so I've asked whether it would be possible to reach out to him, and so this is a possible goal. I've also reached out to the friend from Pure Europa here in Luxembourg. Virginia, you provide me his number, and so I reached out to Stefano Tomei, and I mean, he's very busy until tomorrow, so we'll be in touch, and I'm quite sure with his contacts it will be much easier to orientate. But in this moment, Luxembourg is a place where the attention on climate is pushing, is mounting. This is especially so for impact investing. So there is a lot of momentum deriving from the coolness of going green. So there is the greenwashing at its highest peak. But on the other hand, the various institutions, also the financial, private and public institutions, are really producing some valuable materials and studies on the importance of several initiatives. Among those, carbon pricing is of course well suited, well fitted. So I believe that with a good direction, there are some very likely possible addressees of this ECI. So it's not much for the moment, but it's
no, but I think it's great to share, because it can trigger some connection. So, for example, I think for the Ministry of Finance, Alberto Maiocchi, the leading scientist behind the economist behind our proposal, he shared that there is a network of Ministry of Finance that signed a sort of a joint declaration which includes carbon pricing. So I'm gonna CC you in the thread where we have this document, and also probably the support of Morgens Lichtentoft can be used as a leverage. He's the UN General Assembly President, but he was also Minister of Finance in Denmark. So maybe you can use that support to kind of make more curious the Luxembourg Minister of Finance.
Is the Ministry of Energy, actually. I think the leverage could still work. I mean, they
still a famous person.
Yeah, exactly. And still the working groups are quite small in general. So all the government team is not huge. So we don't have. I mean, I have to let go of the Italian system of tons of subsecretaries, etc. So it's a small working group, and it's just those guys. So it could be actually a good channel.
And the other thing regards Extinction Rebellions, for example, in Italy, thanks to the work that Lorenzo does on the sortition-based citizen assemblies, we have very good relationship with Extinction Rebellion. So we can confidently say to Extinction Rebellion that we already cooperate on some initiatives. So maybe this is a good information for you to have interact with them, particularly on the topic there's citizen assemblies, but ultimately one fight is all fights. So we have a good partnership there.
Excellent. They are really, really visible in Luxembourg. They are doing a great job. There is much engagement coming from them. So it's if I don't know, maybe also Lorenzo, if you want to suggest a contact person or just a name I can put out somehow, it would be great. They seemed available at first, so the first contact. It was just the info address that replied. So I don't know who replied actually, but yeah.
Okay, I will think about it and share some information with you.
And the other thing that with the launch of the newsletter of Stop Global Warming, what I'll try to do is to have some, let's call them clickbait articles on the Eumans blog. So the one that will be issued on Monday is like 10 things about 10 reasons why carbon pricing is the thing, for example, and it's an extraction of the quotes of the EU Tax CO2 Marathon. So the idea is that in the newsletter, it goes also a key piece that is like curiosity about the campaign, curiosity about carbon pricing that can be used. So I don't know, Dino, how good you are in writing, but maybe writing a piece of article that it's about Luxembourg, I mean, joking with the fact that Luxembourg is small but powerful and stuff, and there is an ongoing debate on carbon pricing could be something that we can, I mean, we don't have a massive reach, but it's still a piece of content that we can use and maybe send, or maybe it can be an instrument that you can consider for creating a magnet for these people. And again, a meeting with some, I mean, I don't know, I'm running out of ideas, but let's see.
Sure, good ideas. Writing is fine in English and French, still struggling a bit, but I think that there is room for that, for an article would be. Also, I think that I use the materials from you have prepared as humans, to reach out to these associations. And I think in general, contacting somebody with not just an idea, but with some materials, it's a good icebreaker for a discussion. So yeah, sure, why not?
Cool. Annie, you had some ideas as well.
Well, more like I would like your help with maybe the letter. If you're writing a letter that we can, I was thinking of trying to contact the mayors in the area where I live, in Valpolicella, because they, I don't know whether I could possibly persuade them to help, but I'm working with the European Federalist Movement in the Veneto area, and so I'm going to talk to them about this on Tuesday, and then we're going to have a meeting to talk about participative democracy on the 16th of December, and I was hoping that maybe Marco would be able to come along with you as well, Virginia, to talk about exactly what, because I think people don't know what participative democracy is. And it would be great to, spread the word and then get people involved in this petition. So as I say, I'll start talking to people about the petition as soon as possible. But if you have any material that I can take along, that I can, use to persuade people, because some kind of backup, that would be great. Thank you.
Gila, if we want to include some...
so I'm definitely in on the 16th. Yeah.
You okay for the 16th? Fantastic.
Bye.
Brilliant. I'll wait to hear from Marco when you can, Marco. No hurry. Thank you.
Okay, I have to check, but I try.
Thank you.
One last thing for Annie about events. On Tuesday, I am invited at an event organized by New Europeans. And I think it has a very good audience among the British in Italy, and Roger Casale is a Brit himself living in Italy, so maybe it's a good way to kind of help someone else to promote their own event and having them hearing from us about participatory and climate. I will share with you the details for that.
Fantastic. Yeah, we had a big
Andrea?
shock today. Yeah. Okay.
Andrea, were you saying something?
Oh no, yeah, it was regarding the newsletter that's for Stop Global Warming. If I was thinking how to merge with the think tank target if we want to have it in English as well at European level as well. And if the idea is to send to all contacts, we can just briefly integrate with some points regarding some other arguments, so that to attract more interests, and I can just put down some paragraphs. Otherwise, if the fear is to move out the attention of who receive it from Stop Global Warming to other initiatives, we do not. Depends on what we want to do. I mean, if we think that including in the same newsletter some other topic under the umbrella of Stop Global Warming, we can do it easily, even by Monday. If we on the other side, if we think that it could be too much and moving out the attention and the focus on the topic, we keep separated.
I think, I mean, we should discuss this also with Avi and the rest of the team working on the Stop Global Warming campaign. I think ideally what we can try to do is to have a progressive merge. So now we have a bit of a format, which is an introduction of the newsletter, like update, a key content on the campaign, like 10 things on carbon pricing or things like that. So maybe this could be a space. And then the supporter of the week of the campaign, and the idea was to add a new section, which is like something like what's hot on the planet, basically, with some highlights that goes from carbon pricing to other topics. I think maybe we can discuss it carefully, just because I mean, we need to find a good balance so that all of a sudden we don't start to think about water resources, which is of course into the big picture, but is so I mean I think we should discuss it a bit editorially and see the best.
I get the point. I think I agree. I mean, we cannot add too much, which is out of the scope. So I can just send you something.
Yeah.
For example, I was thinking about the critical raw materials and the proposal on the on-call. That could be just something very quick. That means you can do two things. You can sign Stop Global Warming, and you can ask your region to do something and to convert the coal firing plant in your region. This is something that is valid also for Sardinia. I mean, not we must not go too far in European remote countries. We have coal-firing plants everywhere in Europe, UK, and most and others, Poland as well. So it could be nice because coal is something very clear in the head, in mind of everyone. Coal is bad, at least not for all, but it's easy to approach more than some other resources, which can be gases, fuels, or others. So we can do something on coal if you want, and something on critical raw materials, because it's the same. Critical raw materials include the coal for materials production, and is the same. So phasing out coal from Europe is an initiative. We can support that. I mean,
no, and definitely coal is one of the matter that unifies some of the countries that are like, as Jill was saying, and Poland has a similar issue, and Ireland has a similar issue. So maybe what we could do to make it smooth is to have maybe an article or something on coal dependency in the EU member states or something like that, that can become the content for Stop Global Warming, and then we can attach to that the more specific initiative. Like maybe we can think editorially about this. Okay, let's go out with the next number, and then we'll start to see how.
Yeah. Must not be the next one. Okay.
Can I just say something here? Because while you're producing all this fantastic material and you're putting together ideas and you're trying to make them lively and interesting, and could we also put some of this stuff out on Facebook? For example, we have a Facebook page which is called Information Campaign on Europe, and we work with I've forgotten his name again, Professor, what's his name, the guy who's behind the Maiocchi. Yeah, he's one of the people who work on that page on Information Campaign on Europe. So he would be very happy, I'm sure, to be able to put out stuff on a regular basis. You know, the little post with a picture of a horrifying coal plant and some, 5 useful facts about why coal is a disaster, or sort of really simple stuff. And then we can tweet it out as well. Also through the, we also have the European sardines page, Sardine Europee, and on Facebook, and we also have a European sardines thing on Twitter. So we have various social media outlets where we can kind of put forward posts and tweets and stuff like this. So if you have some useful material, then just send it along and we'll tweet it out or paste it.
Amazing.
Post it out. Yeah.
I mean, we try as much as we can on the Eumans channels to have production of content, and then we say there that there is the content, but because otherwise, but yes, I will, and also you can subscribe also the Stop Global Warming newsletter, so you see what comes out, and it can.
Yeah, I mean, anything like that it's. I don't know if you know Nicola Valinotto, who's in Genova. He's the guy who actually puts out all the infographics that we've been producing. We had a bit of a pause over the summer, but he's producing some great stuff now. And as he works with what's his name, it'll be fine to do that kind of stuff. It'd be great.
Great. If you go on in the meantime, the easiest to be sure that you don't miss some of the stuff, if you go on stopglobalwarming.eu, the website, at the bottom of the page, there is the join the newsletter. So if you subscribe that, at least for sure you receive the basic information, and you are already in a few channels. And then we'll try to streamline some line of, but in general, everything that you see on the channels is made for being shared. So
exactly.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, good. 7 p.m. just to get used to be on time. I think Giri. I can send you more detailed materials on for the NGOs and the party,
Yes.
like the letter for the mayors, and I mean, more or less you have everything. Let me share this with you in the chat so you can save it. So here is a sort of a master document with all the type of letters and materials that we have available. Maybe you can start to have a look here, and then we can see, we can touch base on what is needed for the organization in your opinion, and probably the discourse that Andrea was making around coal is particularly interesting for Czech
Yes.
Republic. So maybe we
Yes.
can come up with something more specific. And in the link you can find the text of the letters for the mayors as well and the local
Ah,
resolution.
fantastic.
Maybe have a look, and then if it's not clear, you tell me if you need more,
Brilliant.
more information. Basically, the
Okay.
package for the municipality is letter plus local resolution. That's the package that we propose to the mayors. But you have a look, and then you tell me if you need more information.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for
Yeah.
your organization.
Bye. Have a nice evening.
Stay in touch.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye bye.
Bye.